Newly discovered evidence beneath the Sphinx will absolutely shock you. In 2025, cosmic rays found a forbidden labyrinth. This incredible hidden city defies over 12,000 years of history. Powerful forces suppress this truth, foretold by a sleeping prophet. Ancient machines or unknown entities guard its forbidden knowledge. Stay to uncover why this mystery could rewrite our entire past. In 2025, deep night blankets the Giza plateau, air crisp and clear. A dedicated research team gathers near the colossal Great Sphinx. Their instruments glow, illuminating faces in the silent, ancient darkness. Secrets predate history. The atmosphere is heavy with untold mysteries. Suddenly, their screens erupt into intense, powerful activity. An undeniable pulse reverberates through the ancient limestone beneath them. The data streams back sharp, irrefutable, and utterly impossible. Not just a chamber, but an immense, intricate labyrinth unfolds below. An entire subterranean city, hewn from rock, extends deep into earth. This discovery defies all expectation. A city no one believed existed. A revelation capable of rewriting humanity's foundational historical texts. Lesser mehr voltigiausnäher and but a chilling undercurrent runs through this electrifying find. Whispers suggest powerful forces want this discovery reburied. Why? What unfathomable truth lies hidden, so perilous it must be concealed? This is no ordinary dig. It seizes the heart, quickens the pulse. It haunts, stirring questions about Egypt's ancient, sealed depth. The Khafre project, in 2025, delivered a seismic shock. Using cosmic ray imaging, they mapped a subterranean complex. It's far more than Cayce's mythical Hall of Records, even larger. A sprawling network of tunnels extends beneath the Sphinx and pyramid. Some are already declaring it a lost city, the tangible remnant of a civilization so staggeringly advanced that it renders our current history books akin to children's fables. Others, however, whisper of something else entirely, a vault of forbidden knowledge, guarded by unseen forces determined to keep its contents hidden. The raw data is nothing short of staggering. The imaging clearly depicts rectangular chambers, perfectly aligned with walls that bear the undeniable hallmarks of intelligent carving, not the haphazard wear of natural erosion. Some of these spaces are colossal, rivaling the dimensions of a modern football field. Others are small, exquisitely precise, suggesting specialized storage areas or sacred ritual sites. There's even a tantalizing indication of a central nexus, a massive circular chamber buried deep underground, where all these complex tunnels appear to converge. The sensor readings hint at metallic elements, possibly even crystalline structures, embedded within the ancient limestone. And then there's the sound, a profound low rhythmic hum, subtly picked up by highly sensitive microphones strategically placed near the Sphinx's very base. It's distinctly not seismic activity, nor the lament of desert winds, nor any acoustic phenomenon the scientists can readily categorize. It's as if the earth itself is murmuring a deep, resonant frequency, pulsing in perfect synchronicity with something ancient, something undeniably alive. The team vibrates with a mixture of exhilaration and a creeping sense of dread. For with every attempt to delve deeper, unsettling events begin to manifest. Equipment suffers inexplicable malfunctions, critical permits mysteriously stall in bureaucratic limbo, and anonymous, chilling messages warn them to abandon their excavation. Let us briefly pause to contextualize this. The Khafre project did not embark on a quest for a lost city. Their initial mandate was far more prosaic, to assess soil stability, ensuring the Sphinx and pyramids would not succumb to the inexorable pull of gravity. Yet, when those cosmic rays pierced the ground, they unveiled far more than they could have ever anticipated. Dr. Filippo Biondi, the lead scientist, vividly recounted the moment the initial images materialized on their screens. He described it as like staring into a ghost. The geometric forms were too flawless, too deliberately constructed to be mere natural caverns or geological fissures. His team meticulously cross-referenced this new data with older seismic scans from 1991, during which pioneering researchers like Thomas Debicki had detected rectangular voids beneath the Sphinx's pores. Those earlier scans had already provoked significant intrigue, strongly hinting at the fabled Hall of Records, the very ancient library that Cayce claimed housed the knowledge of a lost civilization, Atlantis. But this new, expansive discovery from 2025 transcends all previous findings. It is not just a room, it is an entire subterranean complex, perhaps even the enduring blueprint of a world that vanished 12,000 years ago. So the question that seizes the mind and refuses to release its grip is this: what precisely lies hidden down there? Could it genuinely be a city constructed by survivors of a devastating global flood, precisely as Cayce foretold? He asserted that Atlantis was a tangible civilization that had mastered energies we have long since forgotten, only to be obliterated by a cosmic catastrophe. Its survivors, he claimed, sought refuge in places like ancient Egypt, where they meticulously carved the Sphinx and ingeniously concealed their profound knowledge within its stone foundations. The 1991 seismic scans appeared to corroborate his accounts, pinpointing anomalies precisely where he predicted. But now the picture is vastly clearer and infinitely wilder. Some researchers are quietly whispering about anomalous artifacts that defy classification within any known human culture. They speak of metallic objects, crystalline panels, perhaps even technological marvels that seem to predate humanity itself. And here is where the narrative veers into the truly bizarre. Social media platform X is ablaze with claims connecting these findings to UFOs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Speculators contend that these chambers might harbor incontrovertible evidence of extraterrestrial contact, ancient machinery, or even intricate blueprints for crafts that could finally explain the seemingly impossible precision of the pyramid's construction. Yet, not everyone greets these revelations with enthusiasm. The Egyptian government has initiated a severe clampdown. Permits essential for further investigative scans are now entangled in seemingly endless bureaucratic delays. Zahi Hawass, the iconic, often formidable gatekeeper of Egyptian archaeology, has already vehemently dismissed these claims as Western fantasies, steadfastly asserting that the detected voids are nothing more than natural geological fissures. Does this sound familiar? He voiced the exact same dismissals in 1991 when the first seismic data suggested hidden chambers. However, other sources circulating on X, though one must approach all such claims with discernment, allege that Hawass himself was observed inspecting a secretly unsealed tunnel beneath the Sphinx late one night, escorted by a contingent of military guards. The footage, they claim, was swiftly confiscated, and the documentary team preparing to air it was silenced. Then there is the intriguing Vatican angle. Rumors are swirling that the Catholic Church, of all institutions, possesses a vested interest in maintaining the secrecy surrounding this discovery. Why? Some suggest that the archives purportedly housed beneath the Sphinx might contain ancient texts capable of irrevocably challenging the very foundations of modern religion. Texts that could inextricably link human history to a pre-flood world, perhaps even to intelligent beings from another planet. And let us not overlook the most enigmatic piece of all, that persistent hum. The scientists refer to it as a resonant frequency, a profound low vibration that appears to pulse in perfect harmony with the Earth's own magnetic field. It is not constant, it waxes and wanes, reaching its peak intensity at dawn, precisely when the Sphinx's gaze is directed towards the rising sun. Some members of the research team are convinced it is mechanical, like the faint echo of an immense machine that has lain dormant for untold millennia. Others believe it to be something else entirely, something spiritual, as if the Earth itself is attempting to communicate. There is even an audacious theory that this unique frequency could be a key, a sonic password coded into the very stone, capable of unlocking the chambers. Imagine that, a specific sound that opens a portal to a lost world. Yet, every time the team endeavors to record it with advanced equipment, their devices mysteriously fritz out, as if something does not wish to be heard. This is no longer merely an archaeological endeavor. This is a struggle for power. Who dictates the narrative of truth? If a sprawling city lies hidden beneath Giza, what profound implications does it hold for our understanding of the past? Could it irrefutably prove that we are not the first advanced civilization to walk this planet? Could it signify that we have been systematically misled, not just by historical accounts but by governments, by long-standing institutions, perhaps even by clandestine societies? Some posit the direct involvement of the CIA, linked to shadowy black-budget projects that have ostensibly been researching ancient technologies for decades. Others point to a supposed Atlantean Hall of Epstein records, a bizarre conspiracy theory that links these ancient chambers to modern elites purportedly concealing forbidden knowledge. It sounds outlandish, but when confronted with data that should not exist, the impossible begins to feel chillingly plausible. Let's momentarily anchor ourselves in verifiable facts. The Caffrey project's full findings are not yet public, or at least not entirely. The team has remained rigorously tight-lipped, but carefully orchestrated leaks have nevertheless reached respected scientific journals like the Archaeological Review and online platforms such as Gaia.com. These reports meticulously describe vast chambers that perfectly align with the Sphinx's central axis, some extending purposefully towards the Great Pyramid, while others branch out like an ancient subterranean subway system. Some extending purposefully towards the Great Pyramid, while others branch out like an ancient subterranean subway system. The cosmic ray imaging technology they employ is no mere novelty. It is the very same sophisticated system that successfully identified previously hidden rooms within the Great Pyramid itself, back in 2017. Yet, unlike that widely celebrated discovery, which was proclaimed from the rooftops, this new revelation is being actively suppressed. Why? Perhaps because its implications are simply too monumental. If an entire city lies buried beneath Giza, it could definitively mean the Sphinx is vastly older than the Fourth Dynasty, potentially predating it by as much as 10,000 years, a time when the Sahara was a verdant landscape crisscrossed by flowing rivers, rather than the barren expanse of sand it is today. That is not merely a historical revision, it is a complete paradigm shift. And then there is Edgar Cayce, the visionary who anticipated all of this almost a century ago. In the 1930s, he would enter profound trance states, his voice low and unwavering, describing a hidden vault beneath the Sphinx's right paw, filled with ancient scrolls, potent crystals, and perhaps even advanced Atlantean machines. He provided exact coordinates, down to the foot, and predicted its discovery in the 1990s. While he was off by a few decades, the 1991 seismic scans and now the 2025 cosmic ray revelations align with his ethereal pronouncements in a manner that elicits profound chills. How could a man from Virginia, utterly without archaeological training or access to modern technology, have known precisely where to look? Was he tapping into a greater consciousness, a universal memory, or was it merely a stroke of improbable luck that continues to haunt our understanding? The desert does not readily surrender its deepest secrets. Every single shovel that has ever disturbed the sand around the Sphinx has been met with formidable resistance, not merely from the elements, but from human forces. The Egyptian government staunchly asserts its actions are solely to protect its invaluable heritage. And who can fault them? The Sphinx is not simply a statue, it is the indelible symbol of a nation's enduring pride. However, when crucial permits inexplicably vanish, when critical data is locked away indefinitely, and when seasoned researchers are sternly warned to cease their inquiries, one cannot help but question, is this truly about preservation, or is a far grander, more clandestine agenda at play? The Vatican rumors continue to circulate, alleging that ancient texts beneath the Sphinx could fundamentally rewrite the very story of creation itself. And let us not even begin to delve into the persistent UFO angle. Platform X is inundated with posts claiming that the chambers hold irrefutable proof of extraterrestrial contact, perhaps even the advanced technology that enabled the pyramid's construction. These are the kinds of theories one might instinctively dismiss with a laugh, except the compelling data continues to accumulate, and that strange rhythmic hum persists, ceaselessly. So here we stand, teetering on the precipice of a mystery that has echoed through the ages, whispering to humanity for centuries. The Sphinx maintains its eternal eastward gaze, its face weathered by millennia yet still defiantly resolute, guarding something just beyond our reach. Is it truly a city? A vast ancient library? A sophisticated machine from another epoch, or even another world? Or is it merely empty space, a deceptive trick of the limestone that has tantalized explorers since Napoleon's men first probed its enigmatic depths? The unsettling truth is, we simply do not know, and that very uncertainty makes it utterly impossible to turn away. Every single pulse of that cosmic ray scan, every phantom echo of that enigmatic hum, feels like a profound question for which we are not yet prepared to articulate an answer. But one chilling certainty remains. Whatever lies hidden beneath someone, somewhere, emphatically does not want us to find it. In the quiet solitude of a modest Virginia house in 1932, a man named Edgar Cayce closed his eyes, his consciousness slipping into a profound trance, and began to speak of a world utterly lost to the annals of time. His voice, soft yet imbued with an unwavering steadiness, articulated words that seemed to emanate from a source far beyond himself, as if the distant past were whispering directly through him. He meticulously described a hidden chamber nestled beneath the colossal Great Sphinx of Giza, a sacred vault he termed the Hall of Records, purportedly buried deep beneath its right paw. This repository, he claimed, safeguarded the profound secrets of a civilization that had been utterly consumed by cataclysmic waves some 12,000 years prior. Atlantis, he asserted, was no mere myth. It was a tangible realm, a society that had attained unimaginable knowledge, and its scattered survivors had painstakingly encoded a timeless message in stone, destined for those who would eventually follow. Cayce's pronouncements were far from vague conjecture. They were accompanied by coordinates, so astoundingly precise that, decades later, they would compel modern scientists to sit up, transfixed. How could a man utterly devoid of formal training, without access to even rudimentary modern technology, have known with such uncanny accuracy precisely where to direct their gaze? That profound question continues to haunt us, and it is precisely here that our narrative delves deeper into the heart of this enduring enigma. Edgar Cayce was no archetypal prophet. Born in 1877 in a tranquil Kentucky town, he was a reserved individual, earning his living as a photographer. Yet he possessed an extraordinary aptitude for entering trance states, which seemingly granted him access to insights beyond ordinary perception. By the 1930s, he had garnered renown as the Sleeping Prophet, a moniker bestowed due to his peculiar method. He would recline, close his eyes, and articulate prophecies and visions in a voice that seemed to echo from another era. His dedicated followers would gather in his unpretentious home, where a stenographer, poised by the soft glow of a lamplight, would feverishly transcribe every spoken word. Cayce's readings, as they were termed, spanned an astonishing breadth of topics, from innovative health cures to arcane ancient history, but it was his revelations concerning Egypt that resonated with the most profound impact. Night after night, he would consistently return to the same vivid vision, a subterranean chamber beneath the Sphinx, meticulously sealed by the survivors of Atlantis, brimming with ancient scrolls, enigmatic crystals, and perhaps even advanced technological devices capable of fundamentally altering our perception of the world. The Hall of Records, Cayce insisted, was not merely a tomb or a hidden treasure vault. It was a comprehensive library of humanity's deepest memories, a meticulously kept record of everything we had collectively forgotten. He depicted Atlantis as a civilization that had mastered energies we can scarcely conceive of today, Envision the harnessing of the Earth's magnetic field, or the channeling of pure light into usable power. Approximately 12,000 years ago, a catastrophic global flood engulfed their magnificent cities. Yet, a select few survived, safeguarding their invaluable knowledge as they fled to distant lands like ancient Egypt. There they sculpted the Sphinx, not merely as a monumental tribute, but as an eternal guardian, its majestic lion body orienting eastward to herald the dawn of a new epoch. Beneath its right paw, they meticulously concealed their sacred archive, a repository of wisdom intended for discovery when humanity had matured sufficiently to receive it. Cayce's voice, faithfully preserved in the transcripts of those dimly lit sessions, provided details that bordered on the impossibly specific. He described the chamber's entrance as being situated at a precise angle, accessible via a passage sloping downwards from the Sphinx's very base. He even went so far as to predict its eventual uncovering in the 1990s, a date that proved eerily prescient when seismic scans in 1991 dramatically illuminated clear voids in the exact location he had described decades prior. What rendered Cayce's vision so profoundly unsettling was not merely their astonishing clarity, it was the palpable sensation that they were tapping into something far vaster, something universal. He never claimed to fully comprehend the origin of this extraordinary information. In his trance state, he spoke with the conviction of a man reading directly from a book invisible to others, his words flowing with an authoritative certainty that often caused his stenographer's hands to tremble. One of them, a devoted woman named Gladys Davis, later confessed that it was not mere belief that shook her, but the sheer authority infused in Cayce's voice, as if he himself had personally traversed those ancient chambers. She would sit at her small desk, her pencil diligently scratching out coordinates and detailed descriptions, while above her a meticulously drawn map of the Sphinx hung on the wall, its right paw conspicuously marked with a question mark. That map was no casual sketch, it was a precise blueprint, born from words spoken in a trance, pointing unerringly to a location no human eye had witnessed for millennia. Cayce's readings extended far beyond Egypt. He painted a vivid tableau of Atlantis as a veritable global nexus, a civilization where inhabitants expertly manipulated crystals for energy storage and constructed sophisticated machines capable of both healing and, paradoxically, destruction. When the cataclysmic flood arrived, perhaps triggered by their own hubris or a profound cosmic shift, the survivors dispersed, establishing nascent colonies in diverse regions such as the Yucatan Peninsula, the Andean Mountains, and the verdant Nile Valley. The Sphinx, he posited, was erected around 10,000 BC, an astounding thousands of years predating Egypt's pharaonic dynasties, by these Atlantean exiles, who sought to establish an enduring marker for future generations. The Hall of Records served as their ultimate insurance policy, a meticulously crafted time capsule containing the exhaustive chronicle of their civilization's ascent and downfall, along with invaluable tools to reconstruct what had been lost. Cayce described ancient scrolls meticulously etched with unknown intricate scripts, metallic tablets that subtly hummed with strange, almost imperceptible vibrations, and crystals that emitted a faint, ethereal glow, as if still charged with the residual energy of a forgotten science. This was far from mere storytelling. Cayce's predictions possessed a granular precision that utterly baffled his contemporary listeners. He provided exact measurements for the chamber's precise location, down to the very foot, detailing a passage that descended at a specific angle, cleverly obscured beneath layers of accumulated sand and rock. He even alluded to other parallel holes, one purportedly in the Yucatan and another near Bimini in the Bahamas, forming an interconnected global network of ancient archives. Yet the one beneath the Sphinx, he maintained, was unequivocally the central key, the primary vault diligently guarded by a lion-headed sentinel eternally gazing into the distant future. His devoted followers, organized under the banner of the Association for Research and Enlightenment, embraced his words as gospel, meticulously preserving thousands of pages of his transcripts within a dedicated archive in Virginia Beach. They firmly believed that the Hall of Records was not merely an enchanting myth, it was a tangible promise, an unprecedented opportunity for humanity to re-establish a vital connection. Fast forward to 1991, and Cayce's pronouncements began to feel less like abstract prophecy and more like a precise navigational map. A pioneering team led by geophysicist Thomas Debicki directed seismic waves through the Sphinx's ancient base, fully anticipating to encounter nothing but solid limestone. Instead, their sophisticated instruments dramatically illuminated with undeniable echoes of rectangular voids, perfectly aligned and situated precisely where Cayce had indicated the Hall of Records would reside. The resulting data was impeccably clean, unambiguous. Something was unequivocally down there, approximately 25 feet beneath the right paw, with sharply defined edges that bore no resemblance to natural geological formations. The reading so closely mirrored Cayce's coordinates that even hardened skeptics were compelled to raise an eyebrow. But here is where the narrative truly takes a wild turn. The Caffrey Project, leveraging cutting-edge cosmic ray imaging technology, advanced this mystery to an entirely new echelon. They discovered not merely a solitary chamber, but a vast sprawling network of tunnels and intricate rooms, extending like a buried city beneath the entire Giza plateau. The alignment with Cayce's decades-old predictions was uncannily precise, even extending to the specific angle of the passages he had described, long before humanity possessed the technological capability to peer beneath the concealing sands. How did he achieve this? That is the profound question that perpetually keeps one awake at night. Cayce was neither an archaeologist nor an Egyptologist. He had never physically traveled to Egypt, nor had he undergone any formal study in geology or history. Yet his prophetic words consistently pointed to a precise location that modern science continues to gravitate towards. Some theorists propose he tapped into a form of universal memory, what contemporary scientists might refer to as the quantum field, a collective consciousness where the boundaries between past and future become astonishingly permeable. Posts on X have exploded with this very concept, suggesting Cayce was directly channeling information from Atlantis itself, perhaps even from the very beings who were instrumental in its construction. Others cling to the notion that he was simply extraordinarily fortunate, his educated guesses aligning by sheer chance with natural geological quirks in the limestone. But when one meticulously examines the 1991 seismic scans alongside the irrefutable 2025 cosmic ray data, the explanation of luck begins to stretch credulity beyond its limits. The detected voids are simply too precise, too demonstrably deliberate. And now we are confronting the existence of an entire subterranean complex, not merely a solitary room. Cayce's visionary insights extended beyond the mere Hall of Records. He perceived the Sphinx as far more than a colossal statue. For him it was a profound marker, a celestial timepiece. He declared that it was constructed when the constellation Leo ascended with the sun at the vernal equinox, a precise astronomical event occurring around 10,500 BC. This dating places its creation thousands of years before the accepted time frame of Egypt's Fourth Dynasty, the period when mainstream archaeologists conventionally assert the Sphinx was carved for Pharaoh Khafre. Cayce's timeline fundamentally upends everything we presume to know about ancient history. If his pronouncements hold true, the Sphinx is not merely older than the pyramids, it is older than any known human civilization, and the Hall of Records, in this context, transcends being a mere library. It transforms into a formidable challenge, a test to ascertain if humanity is truly prepared to confront its own forgotten past. He stated unequivocally that the chamber would be opened when humanity reached a critical turning point, a moment when the knowledge contained within would be essential for our very survival amidst impending global challenges. He even subtly hinted at the year 2026 as a pivotal juncture, a time when the celestial bodies would align once more, and the Sphinx's eternal gaze would finally reveal a profound new truth. The Cayce's steadfast followers never allowed his prophetic words to fade into obscurity. They actively financed groundbreaking research, such as the 1991 seismic scans, and quietly provided crucial support for the ambitious Caffrey project in 2025. Their comprehensive archives in Virginia Beach are a veritable treasure trove, housing thousands of pages of Cayce's readings, some so meticulously detailed they read like precise blueprints. One particular transcript vividly describes a crystalline artifact within the Hall of Records that emits a pulsating light, a potent power source, it claims capable of healing nations if wielded responsibly, or of utter destruction if misused. Another text mentions a metallic codex, intricately etched with symbols utterly unknown to modern scholarship, containing the precise formulas for energies humanity has long since lost. These are not mere fanciful tales. They are strikingly specific, almost technically precise, and they continue to align with an astonishing consistency with what cutting-edge modern technology is now unearthing. If Edgar Cayce was indeed correct, then what lies beneath the Sphinx could irrevocably alter everything: our understanding of science, the entire narrative of history, and even the fundamental ways in which we power our contemporary world. Yet, not everyone has embraced Cayce's extraordinary visions. Critics during his lifetime frequently dismissed him as a mere mystic, a dreamer weaving elaborate tales for credulous adherents. Establishment archaeologists often branded him a charlatan, asserting that no one could possibly discern what lay beneath the Sphinx without the physical act of excavation. Even today, prominent mainstream Egyptologists, such as Zahi Hawass, vociferously scoff at the very notion of Atlantis, steadfastly maintaining that the detected voids are nothing more than natural fissures or antiquated quarry tunnels. Nevertheless, the accumulating scientific data consistently pokes significant holes in their resolute arguments. The 1991 seismic scans incontrovertibly revealed shapes that were far too regular and symmetrical to be attributed to random natural formations, and the 2025 cosmic ray imaging provides an even clearer, more compelling picture, depicting distinct tunnels that appear to lead purposefully somewhere, perhaps to the Great Pyramid, perhaps to something far more profound. Cayce's staunch defenders often highlight his remarkable track record of accurate predictions. He famously foretold the devastating stock market crash of 1929, the eventual discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls, and now it appears, the subterranean chambers beneath Giza. Is this merely a series of coincidences? Perhaps, but when the same precise location continues to yield anomalous data, decade after decade, one is compelled to seriously reconsider. The most unsettling aspect of Cayce's narrative is not the predictions themselves, but the palpable sensation that they are actively unfolding in the present. In his deep trances, he spoke of an era when the Hall of Records would finally be opened, not merely to unveil the past, but to critically inform and guide humanity's future. Some researchers have connected this to a rare celestial alignment of Regulus, the brilliant heart of Leo, with the Sphinx's exact gaze at dawn. Some interpret it as a definitive cosmic signal, a moment when the resonant frequency detected beneath the Sphinx, that mysterious hum scientists continue to hear, will somehow unlock the chamber. Others venture even further, suggesting Cayce wasn't merely seeing Atlantis, but actively communicating with it, perhaps through enigmatic beings who left the chamber as either a benevolent gift or a grave warning. It is a challenging proposition to fully accept, yet when one stands in the imposing shadow of the Sphinx, its weathered face staring into the seemingly endless expanse of eternity, it becomes profoundly difficult not to sense an imminent presence, something awaiting its moment. That is the compelling hook that continuously draws us back. Cayce's words are not merely a prophecy, they are an audacious challenge. If he is correct, an undeniable truth lies beneath the Sphinx, a truth capable of utterly rewriting our fundamental understanding of who we are. Even if he is wrong, it remains a narrative that compels you to question everything you thought you knew. Either way, the Hall of Records transcends being merely a physical place. It is an potent idea, a resonant whisper from the past that powerfully suggests we are far more than we currently perceive ourselves to be. And as 2026 rapidly approaches, with that strange hum reportedly growing louder, one question burns with an intensity brighter than all the rest. What if Edgar Cayce wasn't merely guessing? What if he genuinely perceived something real? Something poised to fundamentally alter everything? Ve'afting. That is the potent mini-hook that propels us forward. For if those chambers finally yield, what wonders will we discover? And who or what will strive to prevent us from witnessing them? In the year 1818, the Giza plateau existed in a realm utterly distinct from the low hum of modern machinery. There were no seismic scanners, no cosmic ray detectors, only the relentless, pervasive whisper of sand, borne on a desert wind that seemed to possess secrets beyond human ken. Giovanni Battista Caviglia, an intrepid Italian sea captain turned ambitious treasure hunter, stood at the very base of the colossal Great Sphinx. His torch cast stark, jagged shadows across its deeply weathered stone face. The air, thick with the scent of ancient dust and damp limestone, was punctuated by the strained breathing of his men. Their hands raw and blistered from days of ceaseless digging. They paused, straining their ears. They swore they could perceive something faint, a distant echo, like a profound sigh emanating from deep within the earth whenever their shovels struck the unyielding bedrock. Caviglia's heart pounded in his chest. He had heard the persistent tales of tunnels beneath the Sphinx, a sprawling labyrinth concealing secrets far older than Egypt itself. As the moon ascended higher, bathing the majestic, lion-bodied guardian in a ethereal silver light, he pondered if he was on the very brink of uncovering a truth that could send tremors through the entire world. Yet the desert possessed an ancient, stubborn will, and every shovelful of sand seemed to bury the answers even deeper. Caviglia was far from the first to pursue the Sphinx's elusive secrets, and he would certainly not be the last. The 19th century was an era when the profound mysteries of Egypt exerted an almost irresistible gravitational pull on adventurers, drawing them like moths to a captivating flame. The Great Sphinx, half submerged in the shifting sands, its face worn smooth by millennia but still defiantly proud, transcended its status as a mere monument. It was an inscrutable puzzle. Ancient texts, from the accounts of the Greek historian Herodotus to the writings of the Roman scholar Pliny the Elder, subtly whispered of hidden passages beneath Giza, an entire subterranean world of chambers and intricate corridors stretching from the Sphinx all the way to the Great Pyramid. Local Bedouin guides, their voices hushed as they recounted their ancestral tales around crackling campfires, spoke of ancient doorways sealed by the relentless march of time, and of cool air rising from barely discernible cracks, carrying the faint earthy scent of wet stone and forgotten rituals. These were not simply folkloric narratives. For the explorers, they were profound, albeit enigmatic, maps transmitted through countless generations, pointing to something tangibly real. Caviglia, with his perpetually weathered journal and unyielding curiosity, was singularly determined to unearth it. His excavations were grueling. Vicious sandstorms could erase an entire week's arduous labor in a single unforgiving night, and the oppressive heat rendered men's dispositions as raw and frayed as their sun-scorched skin. Yet, Caviglia persevered, propelled by a tantalizing rumor that had reached him in Cairo's bustling cafes. A French expedition led by Napoleon, barely 2 decades prior, had allegedly stumbled upon a hidden doorway beneath the Sphinx's monumental chest. The story claimed that Napoleon's engineers, meticulously mapping the plateau for strategic military advantage, discovered a large stone slab adorned with faint, enigmatic carved symbols that defied all attempts at decipherment. They managed to pry it open, only to be confronted by a narrow shaft, utterly choked with cold, stagnant water, as if it had lain undisturbed for countless centuries. The French, so the tale concluded, promptly resealed it under strict orders to maintain absolute silence. Some speculated this was for safety. Others whispered it was out of sheer terror of what might lie deeper within. Caviglia, his heavy boots sinking into the soft sand, was consumed by a burning desire to uncover the truth. His men diligently excavated trenches around the Sphinx's massive pores, their torches flickering nervously as they struck patches where the sand abruptly gave way, collapsing into unseen hollows beneath. These collapses were not accidental. Caviggia's personal journals, now carefully preserved in a dusty archive in Genoa, describe profound moments when the very ground seemed to subtly shift, as if the earth itself were actively guarding something. One memorable night, a worker's shovel dramatically broke through into a void, and the air that rushed out was remarkably cool, carrying a faint mineral tang, akin to the breath emanating from a deep cavern. The men froze, their lanterns swaying erratically, half expecting some ancient entity to materialize from the inky blackness. Nothing emerged, yet the unsettling experience remained indelibly etched in their memories. Caviglia meticulously sketched his findings, a rough outline of a passage, clearly sloping downwards, its walls remarkably smooth, too uniform to be a natural formation. He termed it not a tomb or a mere tunnel, but a threshold, as if intuitively sensing it led to something far more profound. However, the desert relentlessly fought back. Sand poured into the excavated trenches at a rate faster than they could clear it, and Caviglia's crucial funding eventually ran dry. He departed Giza with far more questions than definitive answers, his notes a poignant blend of frustration and profound wonder, hinting at a hidden door he had almost, but not quite touched. By 1850, the Sphinx continued to draw others into its immense shadow. Howard Vyse, a British colonel with a pronounced taste for adventure and a formidable will, eagerly took up the challenge. Unlike Caviglia's more romantic quest, Vyse's approach was rigorously methodical, almost ruthless. He brought with him advanced drilling equipment and even gunpowder, systematically blasting through the limestone around the Sphinx's base, relentlessly searching for any passages the ancients might have cunningly concealed. His men bored a vertical shaft directly behind the Sphinx's prominent hunches, optimistically hoping to intercept a hidden chamber. They discovered only solid rock, yet Vyse remained undeterred. His workers reported peculiar acoustics when they struck the bedrock near the pores. The stone resonated with a hollow drum-like sound. Vyse duly recorded this in his official reports, though he publicly dismissed it as mere curiosity. Privately, however, he was considerably less certain. His preliminary sketches, later published in obscure journals, depict dotted lines ominously trailing beneath the Sphinx, as if he too suspected an intricate network of tunnels awaiting discovery. Then there was John Shea Perring, an engineer who joined Vyse in 1837. Perring was consumed by the concept of a grand labyrinth, directly inspired by Herodotus, who in the 5th century BC wrote of a vast underground complex beneath Giza that purportedly surpassed the pyramids themselves in scale and marvel. Perring's team concentrated their efforts on the Sphinx's forepores, an area where local guides had pointed out cracks that appeared far too regular and deliberate to be natural. One evening, as the sun dipped dramatically low, painting the plateau in fiery hues of red and orange, Perring's men unearthed a flat stone slab, half buried beneath the left pore. It was strikingly smooth, adorned with faint grooves that resembled hinges or seals. They attempted to lift it, but the slab stubbornly refused to budge, and the surrounding sand continued to slide back, as if the desert itself were actively sealing the entrance. Perring's meticulous notes, now carefully housed in a London museum, describe a distinct sound, a low, persistent hum, almost like a distant hypnotic chant, when they tapped the resistant slab. He initially attributed it to the desert wind, but his local workers, intimately familiar with the plateau's capricious moods, were profoundly unconvinced. They spoke in hushed tones of ancient spirits guarding the Sphinx, of ethereal voices carried on the night air from places utterly beyond human sight. These accounts were not merely local folklore. Esteemed Islamic chroniclers, such as al-Makarisi, writing centuries earlier, explicitly mentioned secret chambers intricately carved into Giza's bedrock, interconnected by a series of flooded shafts. Even older texts from the Greek philosopher Iamblichus described elaborate subterranean galleries leading directly from the Sphinx to the Nile, supposedly utilized for mysterious rituals, whose true purpose no one could name. These rich accounts ignited the intense archaeological frenzy of the 19th century. Explorers were no longer simply digging for tangible treasure. They were in pursuit of a lost monumental history. Some genuinely believed the Sphinx concealed ancient scrolls or profound tablets, perhaps even comprehensive maps of a world that existed before a catastrophic global flood. Others, influenced by clandestine whispers emanating from Europe's burgeoning occult societies, theorized that the chambers harbored something far stranger, enigmatic devices or powerful relics from a primordial era when humanity possessed knowledge vastly superior to its current understanding. The idea, though seemingly fantastical, was not as outlandish as it initially sounded. Napoleon's pivotal expedition, which undeniably ignited the century's profound obsession with Egypt, included highly accomplished scientists who meticulously catalogued every fissure and shadow. Their intricate drawings, now carefully preserved in French archives, reveal faint outlines beneath the Sphinx's chest, suggestive of hastily sketched doorways, as if they had glimpsed something they were strictly forbidden to see. The 19th century was not solely defined by the arduous labor of shovels and flickering torches. It was a tumultuous crucible, a profound collision between nascent science and ingrained superstition, between the ancient East and the burgeoning West, between rigorous reason and boundless wonder. Cairo's bustling cafes buzzed with thrilling tales of what lay hidden beneath the Sphinx, deftly blending ancient Bedouin legends with the more romanticized European fantasies. One particular story, widely circulated among British diplomats, recounted a French engineer in 1830 who purportedly crawled into a narrow tunnel beneath the Sphinx, only to emerge moments later, deathly pale and utterly silent, forever refusing to articulate what unspeakable sight he had witnessed. His name has been lost to history, but the chilling rumor persisted, faithfully repeated in letters dispatched to London's elite salons. Another captivating tale, recounted by a German traveler, described a Bedouin guide who solemnly swore the Sphinx's pores concealed a hidden trapdoor, sealed with a massive stone that moved only when a precise celestial alignment of the stars occurred. These were not merely whimsical campfire stories. They profoundly shaped the direction of the excavations. Explorers like Caviglia and Cayce utilized them as bona fide guides, trusting ancient oral tradition with as much credence as their meticulously calibrated compasses. But the desert remained an unyielding master. Every excavation confronted the same relentless adversary: sand. It poured back into freshly dug trenches, relentlessly choked machinery, and tragically buried nascent hope. Workers often complained of the air, which carried a distinct smell of wet chalk, an ominous sign that pervasive moisture lingered deep within the rock, hinting strongly at sealed, water-filled spaces below. One gripping account from an 1840 expedition describes a worker pressing his ear against the Sphinx's ancient base and distinctly hearing an echo, like a distant rhythmic drum beat, when his companion struck the stone 100 feet away. It was not definitive proof, but it was sufficiently compelling to keep them tirelessly digging through the night, their lanterns casting elongated shadows that seemed to dance in eerie synchronicity with the Sphinx's own. These fleeting, often unverified moments transformed into the very fabric of legend, meticulously recorded in journals and whispered with reverent awe in European lecture halls. The century's profound obsession was not solely about physically locating hidden chambers. It was about the potentially earth-shattering implications. If the Sphinx indeed concealed a labyrinthine complex, it could conclusively prove that the ancients possessed knowledge we had entirely forgotten. Freemasons and occultists, eagerly congregating in the vibrant intellectual hubs of London and Paris, perceived the Sphinx as a critical key to unlocking a lost fundamental science, perhaps even an undeniable link to a global civilization long swallowed by the relentless currents of time. Perhaps even an undeniable link to a global civilization long swallowed by the relentless currents of time. They frequently cited ancient texts such as the legendary Emerald Tablet, purportedly attributed to the mythical Hermes Trismegistus, which subtly hinted at profound knowledge buried within Egypt's sands. Some even daringly linked it to Napoleon's Egyptian campaign, claiming he had discovered a hidden cache of ancient scrolls beneath the Sphinx, which were then clandestinely spirited away to the Vatican, to be forever withheld from the rest of the world. These ideas, however wild they initially appeared, compelled men to risk everything, their fortunes, their reputations, even their very lives, in a desperate quest to unveil what the Sphinx so resolutely guarded. By the century's close, the intense excavations had gradually subsided, but the profound questions they raised had not. Archaeology was steadily evolving into a rigorous science, less concerned with material treasure and more with precise historical timelines. Yet the Sphinx steadfastly resisted such easy categorization. Its monumental base, scarred by centuries of accumulating sand and probing shovels, still held tantalizing clues that refused to fade into obscurity, cracks that resonated with a hollow sound, massive slabs that stubbornly defied all attempts to move them, and air that carried strange, unidentifiable scents. These were the enduring breadcrumbs left by intrepid pioneers like Caviglia, Cayce, and Perring. Their arduous work, though ultimately incomplete, undeniably established a foundational precedent for the advanced seismic scans of 1991 and the revolutionary cosmic ray images of 2025. They may not have definitively located the chambers themselves, but they meticulously mapped the contours of the mystery, etching indelible lines in the sand that subsequent generations would inevitably follow. Those intrepid 19th-century explorers, armed with their flickering torches and tattered journals, did not merely dig into stone, they delved into the very fabric of time itself. What if they were in fact right? What if the echoes they perceived, the resistant slabs they touched, were indeed the very edges of a profound truth we are only now beginning to apprehend, a secret that, as the sand settled silently over their forgotten trenches, remains buried, just inches beneath the surface, patiently awaiting the precise hand to finally unveil it. In 1991, a nondescript steel van stood silently parked on the expansive Giza plateau, its engine emitting a faint, rhythmic hum beneath the relentless Egyptian sun. Inside, a geophysicist named Thomas Debecki meticulously adjusted his headset, his gaze intently fixed on a flickering, data-laden screen. The air within the cramped space was redolent with the familiar scent of dust and diesel, punctuated by the subtle electronic buzz of his sophisticated equipment. He was engaged in no conventional digging or drilling. His task was simply to listen. Low-frequency sound waves pulsed purposefully through the ancient limestone bedrock beneath the colossal Great Sphinx, rebounding as intricate echoes that meticulously painted a detailed portrait of a hidden world far below. When the initial data streamed in, Debecki's breath visibly hitched. The screen clearly displayed distinct rectangular voids, sharp and remarkably symmetrical, situated directly beneath the Sphinx's ancient forepaws. They were far too precise in their formation to be natural, and significantly too deep to be casually dismissed. Yet, before he could share these groundbreaking findings with the wider world, the project encountered an insurmountable barrier, not one of stone, but of intractable politics. The fundamental question was no longer simply what lay hidden beneath the Sphinx. It was who possessed the ultimate authority to define its profound meaning. This was unequivocally not a treasure hunt. It was rigorous science, executed with pure methodical precision, employing seismic waves to meticulously map the unseen. Debecki and his partner, Robert Schoch, were integral members of a research team partially funded by the Association for Research and Enlightenment, AOR, the very organization dedicated to preserving Edgar Cayce's startling prophecies. Their objective was straightforward: to transmit carefully calibrated sound waves through the bedrock, precisely measure their reflections, and thereby construct an accurate subsurface image. The equipment, state-of-the-art for its era, comprised transducers carefully buried in shallow slots, cables snaking across the sand, and powerful computers diligently crunching data in real time. They anticipated uncovering natural cracks or cavities, perhaps even remnants of ancient quarry tunnels from the period when the Sphinx was originally carved. What they discovered, instead, was a profound shock: unequivocally clear geometric shapes, situated approximately 25 feet below the surface, aligned with an almost eerie precision. One particular void, distinctly rectangular and roughly the dimensions of a small room, lay directly beneath the Sphinx's right paw, precisely where Cayce had prophesied the Hall of Records would be located. Another void, smaller yet equally distinct and sharp, ran parallel to the first, strongly suggesting a more extensive network of chambers or intricate passages. The data was clean, the readings remarkably consistent. Debecki's team painstakingly ran the scans repeatedly, meticulously adjusting frequencies between 25 and 75 Hz to rigorously rule out any potential errors. Each successive pass unequivocally confirmed their initial findings. The echoes were emphatically not random. They clearly bounced off flat, deliberate surfaces, akin to walls rather than the jagged, irregular edges characteristic of natural fissures. The team's internal logs subsequently leaked to respected scientific journals, such as the Archaeological Review, explicitly described a rectangular anomaly with denser than expected margins. In plain, unambiguous language, something demonstrably man-made, or at the very least unnaturally formed, was concealed below. The scientists, while maintaining a cautious demeanor and adding numerous asterisks to their notes, acutely aware that labeling it an unequivocal chamber could jeopardize their professional reputations, were privately abuzz with excitement. One technician, his glasses fogged by the desert heat, confided to a colleague that it felt as if they had inadvertently stumbled upon a profound secret the Sphinx had meticulously guarded for untold millennia. Fast forward to 2025, and the stakes escalated dramatically. The Caffrey Project, now armed with revolutionary cosmic ray imaging technology capable of utilizing subatomic particles to precisely peer through solid rock, propelled the mystery to an unprecedented new level. Unlike the 1991 scans, which had merely mapped a few isolated voids, this ambitious project unveiled a sprawling, meticulously organized underground complex. Tunnels radiated from the Sphinx, extending purposefully towards the Great Pyramid, some wide enough for a person to comfortably walk through, others narrow and intricate, like subterranean veins coursing through the stone. A central chamber, distinctly circular and colossal in scale, appeared to anchor this entire vast network, its walls reflecting signals that strongly suggested the presence of metal. And once again that enigmatic sound resurfaced, the profound, low, rhythmic hum detected by highly sensitive microphones. This was unequivocally not seismic noise nor the murmur of wind. It astonishingly matched a specific frequency eerily close to the Earth's natural Schumann resonance, a pervasive global vibration that some scientists link to the planet's magnetic fields. The team whispered excitedly about harmonic data, pondering if the ancients had somehow encoded vital information directly into the very stone itself, a timeless message specifically designed to be heard. However, scientific discovery never exists in a vacuum, and the Sphinx's profound secrets proved to be no exception. The groundbreaking 1991 findings abruptly encountered an immovable obstacle when Zahi Hawass, Egypt's formidable, often iron-fisted guardian of antiquities, decisively intervened. Hawass, a larger-than-life figure with an undisputed knack for meticulously controlling narratives, peremptorily dismissed the detected voids as nothing more than natural fissures, perhaps ancient cracks resulting from seismic shifts thousands of years prior. He vehemently contended that the limestone formations around Giza were replete with such geological quirks, rendering them utterly unremarkable. Yet, his subsequent actions paradoxically conveyed a starkly different message. Unconfirmed sources circulating on Platform X controversially claimed that Hawass himself authorized a clandestine midnight radar scan in 1993, reportedly descending into a narrow tunnel himself, only to subsequently order its immediate sealing and the complete suppression of all recorded footage. The official report from the Egyptian Geological Survey remained conspicuously vague, simply noting inhomogeneities consistent with natural cavities, but behind closed doors, some team members privately conceded that the detected shapes were far too geometrically regular, too perfectly aligned, to be dismissed as mere chance. The 2025 data, despite its unprecedented clarity, faced a strikingly similar pattern of resistance. The CAFRI project's preliminary findings, which had illicitly leaked to online platforms such as Gaia.com, vividly described a complex subterranean grid that simply defied conventional geological explanations. The pronounced circular chamber, aptly dubbed the hub by the stunned researchers, manifested on the cosmic ray scans with a startling clarity that profoundly amazed the entire team. Its walls reflected subatomic particles in a manner strongly indicative of highly polished surfaces, possibly even intricately inlaid with exotic materials utterly unknown to ancient Egyptian craftsmanship. But before the team could formally publish their potentially world-altering discoveries, their crucial permits were inexplicably stalled. Egyptian authorities cited vague heritage protection concerns, a phrase that increasingly sounded like a coded justification for something far more clandestine. Rumors proliferated that the government was not merely safeguarding the Sphinx, they were actively guarding a profound secret. Posts on X vehemently speculated about intense international pressure, with some conjectures pointing directly to the Vatican, while others implicated powerful U.S. agencies with shadowy ties to black-budget programs. Why such extraordinary lengths? Because if these hidden chambers truly contained advanced technology or historical records from a pre-flood civilization, it possessed the power to unequivocally upend everything, the entire established narrative of history, the fundamental tenets of global religions, and even the intricate dynamics of global power structures. Into this maelstrom stepped Robert Schoch, a distinguished geologist from Yale University, who stirred the already turbulent waters in a uniquely different manner. In the early 1990s, Schoch was not primarily engaged in chasing elusive chambers. Instead, he was meticulously reading the stone of the Sphinx itself. He devoted his research to the Sphinx's enclosure, the deep ancient pit meticulously carved around its monumental body, and observed something profoundly anomalous. The limestone surfaces exhibited distinct vertical grooves and noticeably rounded edges, unmistakable geological markers that unmistakably indicated prolonged water erosion, rather than the more conventional wear caused by wind or abrasive sand. This observation was monumental. The Sahara Desert has not experienced heavy, sustained rainfall since approximately 8,000 to 10,000 BC, a period vastly predating the Fourth Dynasty's conventionally accepted construction date of around 2500 BC. A period vastly predating the Fourth Dynasty's conventionally accepted construction date of around 2500 BC. Schoch boldly argued that the Sphinx was demonstrably far older, possibly constructed during an era when the region was lush and verdant, by a sophisticated people who predated Egypt's pharaonic dynasties. His revolutionary theory, subsequently published in respected mainstream scientific journals such as Nature, provided powerful corroboration for Cayce's radical timeline and imbued the existing seismic data with an entirely new layer of profound intrigue. If the Sphinx was indeed that ancient, then those previously detected underground voids could realistically be invaluable relics of a truly lost world, not merely mundane quarry leftovers. Mainstream Egyptologists vehemently pushed back. They contended that the observed erosion resulted from salt crystallization or groundwater seeping through the rock, not from ancient heavy rains. They meticulously pointed to existing quarry marks and precise temple alignments that, in their view, irrefutably linked the Sphinx to Pharaoh Khafra's reign. Schoch's groundbreaking ideas, they declared, were fringe, perilously close to the Atlantis talk they had spent decades diligently debunking. Hojas, particularly vocal in his opposition, famously decried such theories as Western fantasies that flagrantly disrespected Egypt's heritage. Yet, the compelling data continued to nag. The 1991 voids uncannily aligned with Shouk's radically expanded timeline, suggesting tunnels that seemed to meticulously follow the Sphinx's celestial alignment with the constellation Leo, a direct, powerful nod to Cayce's daring 10,500 BC claim. The more diligently scientists investigated, the less it felt like mere coincidence. The escalating controversy transcended mere factual disputes. It fundamentally revolved around control. Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities held the absolute keys to every excavation, every scan, every single shred of precious data. In 1991, Debecki's team dutifully submitted their findings to Cairo, only to witness them inexplicably vanish into an impenetrable bureaucratic limbo. The reels of seismic tape, carefully stored in a ministry basement, were officially classified as national heritage, rendering them utterly untouchable without explicit, high-level approval. The 2025 project faced an identical frustrating fate: cosmic ray images, which could have been shared globally, much like the revelatory Great Pyramid scans in 2017, were instead summarily locked away. Why? Some observers attribute it to national pride, Egypt fiercely guarding its ancient narrative from perceived external interference. Others point to far darker motives. Posts on X controversially claim that the chambers might contain technologies or ancient texts that pose a direct existential threat to modern institutions, ranging from established religious doctrines to entrenched energy monopolies. One particularly wild theory even connects it to zero-point energy, a theoretical concept physicists are only now beginning to tentatively explore, suggesting the ancients possessed the extraordinary knowledge to tap into the universe's fundamental raw power. The persistent hum added yet another profound layer of mystery. In both 1991 and 2025, highly sensitive instruments consistently detected a low-frequency vibration, which reached its peak intensity at dawn, precisely when the Sphinx's gaze was directed towards the rising sun. This was no mere ambient noise. It possessed a distinct rhythm, almost like a pulsating heartbeat. Some researchers provocatively compared it to the Schumann resonance, a natural global frequency intrinsically linked to the Earth's magnetic field. Others ventured even further, speculating that it was artificial, a deliberate signal emanating from whatever enigmatic entity resided below. A technician involved in the Khafre project, speaking anonymously on X, described it with chilling simplicity. It was like the stone was breathing. He further claimed that the peculiar sound abruptly ceased whenever they attempted to drill deeper, as if something sentient had detected their intrusive presence and deliberately silenced itself. Mainstream scientists predictably scoffed at such interpretations, attributing the phenomenon to equipment interference or natural acoustics. But the meticulously collected data remained unequivocal. The hum was palpably real, and it demonstrably did not correspond to anything within the established geological record. The profound clash between groundbreaking science and impenetrable secrecy transformed the Sphinx into an intellectual battleground. On one side, courageous researchers like Debecki and Shouk's relentlessly pushed for unvarnished truth, their compelling data pointing unequivocally towards something extraordinary. On the other, Hauhas and Egypt's rigid authorities held firm, steadfastly dismissing the intriguing voids as nothing special. Yet the persistent leaks continued to surface. A 1993 NBC documentary, provocatively titled "The Mystery of the Sphinx," brought the seismic findings to a broad public audience, skillfully blending Cayce's prophecies with irrefutable hard data. It was a massive popular success, but Hauhas immediately condemned it as sensationalist, summarily revoking permits for the film crew. The 2025 leaks, disseminated on platforms like Gaia.com, encountered similar vehement pushback, with Egyptian officials dismissing them as unverified. Still, the compelling data endured, quietly circulating in private archives, whispered about in hushed tones in Cairo's bustling cafes. One retired geologist admitted that he meticulously kept digital copies of the 1991 scans, simply unable to relinquish them. He described the detected voids as resembling an X-ray of a dream, too perfect, too profound to be simply dismissed. What then truly lies beneath? That is the question that burns with an unwavering intensity. The seismic waves and cosmic rays, while undeniably accurate, do not in themselves narrate the entire story. Are the voids merely empty spaces, ancient air trapped within millennia-old cracks, or do they conceal something far more profound? Scrolls, potent crystals, perhaps even sophisticated machines. Precisely as Cayce claimed, the 2025 scans strongly hint at the presence of anomalous materials, metallic echoes, crystalline reflections. Could these be the enduring remnants of a civilization that possessed knowledge we have entirely forgotten? Or is it all an elaborate mirage, a cunning trick of the stone, vastly amplified by our innate human yearning to believe? The profound truth remains locked away within Cairo's impenetrable archives, guarded with a ferocity as intense as the Sphinx itself. And that, precisely, is the mini-hook that keeps us perpetually guessing. If the compelling data is indeed real, why is it so fiercely hidden? What unspeakable danger do those enigmatic echoes truly represent, that they are buried even deeper than the chambers themselves? Picture a world 10,000 years in the past, an era when the earth was a verdant tapestry, the skies wilder, and humanity stood at a pivotal crossroads. Across sprawling continents, from the sun-drenched sands of Egypt to the mist-shrouded jungles of Cambodia, from the wind-swept plains of Mesopotamia to the lofty plateaus of Mesoamerica, colossal stone figures emerge from the very bedrock. These are not random sculptures, they are imposing guardians, lion-bodied and fierce, their ancient eyes fixed on distant horizons that only they seem to comprehend. The great Sphinx of Giza, with its weathered, enigmatic gaze, is but one compelling example. In the ancient land of Assyria, magnificent winged Lamassu stand sentinel at the entrances of palaces. In the heart of India, Narasimha, the powerful deity depicted as half-man, half-lion, snarls majestically from towering temple walls. In the Americas, formidable jaguar gods crouch in ruined plazas, their claws intricately carved with an eerie, almost preternatural precision. These are not isolated myths. They are undeniable threads woven into a grand global tapestry, an interconnected network of monumental structures that subtly whisper of a shared primordial past, a past that might very well hold the crucial key to the profound secrets buried deep beneath the Giza plateau. Could these silent stone sentinels truly be the enduring markers of a profoundly lost civilization, their powerful paws eternally guarding the sacred memories of a world that existed before the catastrophic global flood? Let us begin with the Sphinx itself, its massive monolithic form, expertly carved from the indigenous limestone of Giza, perpetually gazes eastward, as if awaiting a dawn to reveal some profound unspoken truth. Yet it is not alone in its singular majesty. Thousands of miles away in the ancient, fabled city of Nineveh, the colossal Lamassus stand with equal pride, their distinctly human faces framed by powerful lion bodies, their magnificent wings unfurling like solemn promises of divine protection. These Assyrian giants, meticulously carved around 700 BC, stand guard over the thresholds of palaces that have long since crumbled into dust, their unwavering eyes locked upon the very same eastern sky. Traverse the vast expanse of the ocean to southern India, and one encounters Narasimha, the revered lion-man deity of Hindu lore, his potent stone form dramatically bursting forth from ancient temple pillars, teeth bared in a striking juxtaposition of divine mercy and formidable menace. Journey further into the dense jungles of Mexico, where formidable jaguar gods, intricately etched into solid granite, silently watch over sacred sites such as Teotihuacan, their unblinking gazes perfectly aligned with the sun's annual path. Each of these monumental figures, separated by vast oceans and countless centuries, shares a haunting, undeniable similarity: a powerful feline body, an unwavering forward stare, and an inherent role as a solemn gatekeeper to something profoundly sacred. What exactly is happening here? Why did these disparate cultures, geographically scattered across the entire globe, consistently sculpt and revere the exact same archetypal guardian? Mainstream archaeologists typically attribute this to mere coincidence, a case of the human mind converging independently on a universal symbol of power. Lions, they assert, inherently embody strength, courage, and vigilance. Thus it is unsurprising that their imagery appears in art from Egypt all the way to India. However, if we delve just a little deeper, the narrative becomes considerably murkier. The striking similarities extend far beyond mere form. They are profoundly evident in function. These enigmatic creatures do not typically reside in the bustling hearts of cities or within the inner sanctums of temples. Instead, they invariably mark boundaries, sacred thresholds between the known and the unknown, the mundane and the divine, the human and the cosmic. The Sphinx vigilantly guards the entire Giza plateau, its paws firmly planted where the vast desert meets the fertile Nile. The Lamassu majestically flank palace entrances, their formidable wings serving as an imposing barrier between earthly rulers and the outside world. Narasimha perches ominously at temple gates, a powerful warning to any who would dare to trespass without due reverence. And formidable jaguar gods stand at the very edges of Mesoamerican plazas, their unblinking eyes meticulously tracking the celestial dance of the stars. It is as if they are all integral components of a cohesive system, an intricate global network specifically designed to protect something invaluable, perhaps profound knowledge, perhaps immense power, or perhaps an ancient memory too perilous to ever be truly lost. This groundbreaking idea is not entirely novel. In his seminal work, Fingerprints of the Gods, Graham Hancock persuasively argues that these global monuments might indeed be profound echoes of a singular, originating source, an advanced civilization that comprehensively spanned the globe before a devastating cataclysm eradicated it from history. He meticulously points to the pervasive flood myths, compelling narratives of a great deluge that appear in Sumerian, Mayan, and Indian texts alike, all describing intrepid survivors who painstakingly rebuilt their societies with tantalizing fragments of lost wisdom. Could the Sphinx, the Lamassu, and their myriad kin truly be enduring markers left by these very survivors? A profound and ingenious method to anchor their invaluable knowledge in an unyielding stone. The idea, while seemingly wild and audacious, gains significant credence when one critically examines the mathematical alignments. Many of these imposing figures align with astonishing precision with specific celestial events. The Sphinx, for instance, faces the precise rising point of the constellation Leo around 10,500 BC, a precise date that Edgar Cayce also prophetically linked to its original construction. In Cambodia's ancient Angkor Wat, imposing lion statues meticulously line stairways that precisely track the solstices, their intricate positions mirroring the celestial dance of the stars. Even in Mesoamerica, various jaguar figures are precisely aligned with solar cycles, as if they are intricate clocks, masterfully carved in stone, ticking to a cosmic rhythm far older than recorded history itself. The numbers undeniably do not lie, but they also do not reveal the entire intricate narrative. Consider the Sphinx. Its precise alignment with the constellation Leo is not merely poetic. It is staggeringly accurate, matching the vernal equinox from an epoch when the vast Sahara was a lush, verdant savanna, not the arid desert it is today. That specific time frame predates Egypt's Fourth Dynasty by thousands of years, the period when mainstream archaeologists conventionally assert the Sphinx was constructed. In ancient Assyria, the majestic Lamassu stand directly beneath constellations once revered as gates of the gods, their immense wings pointing toward specific stars that once guided ancient navigators. In India, the sacred temples dedicated to Narasimha frequently adhere to profound principles of sacred geometry, with proportions mirroring the divine golden ratio prominently appearing in their intricate layouts, a pattern that resonates eerily with the design of Giza's pyramids. These are not haphazard designs. They powerfully suggest a shared, underlying blueprint, a kind of ancient architectural DNA seemingly transmitted across cultures, with no known historical contact, also we have been told. But here is where the narrative becomes even stranger. These monumental structures do not merely share visual similarities, they also share an astonishing acoustic resonance. The experienced sculptors who have painstakingly worked on various ancient sites describe a peculiar, almost mystical resonance when they strike the ancient stone. At Giza, the Sphinx's limestone resonates with a sharp, high note, akin to a precisely tuned tuning fork. In Angkor, the majestic sandstone lions emit a softer, almost mournful tone. In Mesoamerica, jaguar statues carved from formidable granite vibrate with a deep, steady pulse. A modern sculptor, having visited these diverse sites, aptly described it as playing the same instrument in different keys. Why would ancient builders deliberately choose such resonant stone? Was it purely ceremonial, intended to amplify profound rituals? Or was it something far more, an ingenious method to encode vital information within vibrations, a sophisticated technology we have long since forgotten? Some online posts take this speculation even further, claiming these frequencies precisely match the Schumann resonance, reportedly detected beneath the Sphinx in 2025, hinting at a vast global network meticulously tuned to the Earth's own natural pulse. The concept of such a global network is not merely speculative, it is powerfully substantiated by persistent patterns that continually manifest themselves. In Turkey, at the ancient site of Göbekli Tepe, archaeologists have unearthed intricate lion carvings dating back to an astonishing 10,000 BC, predating both ancient Egypt and Assyria. These are not grand statues, but smaller, fiercely depicted reliefs, their sharp claws gripping the stone as if guarding something profoundly sacred. If the imagery of lions served as powerful symbols of protection even before the advent of known civilizations, what precisely were they protecting? Hancock and other pioneering researchers propose a lost, highly advanced civilization, whether one chooses to call it Atlantis or by another name, that disseminated its profound knowledge across the globe before its eventual catastrophic collapse. The survivors, they argue, meticulously constructed these lion guardians to explicitly mark significant memory sites, strategic locations where vital wisdom was deliberately preserved against the inexorable oblivion of time. The Sphinx, with its rumored hall of records, might very well be the central node of this vast network, its intricate tunnels linking directly to other crucial sites across the entire planet. Posts on X even audaciously claim that similar hidden chambers exist beneath Angkor Wat and Teotihuacan, patiently awaiting the precise moment to be scanned with the identical cosmic ray technology successfully employed at Giza. Now let us boldly push the boundaries of conventional thought. What if these monumental structures were not merely passive markers, but sophisticated machines? Not machines of gears and wires in the modern sense, but massive stone constructions meticulously tuned to harness various forms of energy, magnetic, acoustic, perhaps even cosmic. This audacious idea may sound like the stuff of science fiction, yet it is not as outlandish as one might initially assume. In his compelling book, The Source Field Investigations, David Wilcock meticulously explores how ancient builders might have ingeniously utilized principles of resonance to manipulate powerful energies, pointing to the astonishingly precise acoustics of sites such as the Great Pyramid. The Sphinx's persistent hum, compellingly detected in 2025, could be a crucial clue, a subtle signal emanating from a complex system that remains subtly active, patiently awaiting the correct frequency to finally unlock its profound secrets. Some theorists on X run wild with this concept, proposing that the global network of lion statues forms an integral part of a planetary grid, precisely aligned with geomagnetic lines to channel immense power or information. They frequently cite ancient myths of sky gods or star beings, such as the Anunnaki of Sumerian lore, who purportedly imparted advanced sciences to early humanity, guiding them in the construction of these monumental sites. Could the Sphinx and its myriad global cousins truly be enduring relics of their profound influence? An intricate network explicitly designed to connect Earth to the distant, enigmatic stars. Skeptics, of course, dismiss such notions with an eye roll, arguing that these perceived similarities are primarily psychological, not fundamentally historical. Humans, they contend, inherently fear the unknown, and thus we carve powerful lions, universal symbols of strength and guardianship, to protect our sacred spaces. The purported alignments, they insist, are merely cherry-picked, with researchers like Hancock conveniently disregarding any dates that do not neatly fit their preconceived narratives. The acoustic resonance, they maintain, is simply a natural acoustic phenomenon, nothing mystical or extraordinary. Yet even the most resolute skeptics struggle to fully explain every anomaly. Why do flood myths from ancient Sumer to Mesoamerica consistently describe lion-like guardians vigilantly watching over profound knowledge? Why do these disparate statues share precise proportions, such as the divine golden ratio, across cultures with absolutely no known historical contact? And why do monumental sites like Göbekli Tepe, demonstrably older than any known pyramid, strikingly feature lions guarding what may well be the world's very first temples? The persistent patterns are simply too stubborn to be easily dismissed, too geographically widespread to be attributed to mere chance. The idea of a profound global network gains undeniable traction when one meticulously maps its components. Draw connecting lines from Giza to Nineveh, from Angkor to Teotihuacan, and you will discern distinct arcs that gracefully hug the Earth's mid-latitude belt, a specific geographical zone that some refer to as a geomagnetic highway. Planetary grid theorists, while not entirely mainstream, are certainly not crackpots either, suggesting that ancient builders intuitively selected these specific locations, sensing the Earth's inherent energy fields. The Sphinx, strategically positioned where the mighty Nile River converges with the vast desert, might very well be the ultimate keystone, its intricate tunnels serving as a central hub for this invisible potent grid. If the Hall of Records indeed exists, it could transcend being merely a library. It could function as an immense control center, meticulously storing invaluable data not just on fragile scrolls, but ingeniously encoded within the very stone itself, embedded in subtle frequencies we are only now beginning to perceive. An intriguing post on X claimed a leaked Caffrey project report explicitly mentioned crystalline anomalies beneath the Sphinx, hinting at the presence of materials that could function like a prehistoric hard drive, capable of storing immense amounts of information. This elaborate network is not merely about stone, it is profoundly about story. Every culture that features a lion guardian in its lore invariably recounts a narrative of survival, of vital knowledge painstakingly preserved against impending catastrophe. The ancient Sumerians spoke of a devastating flood deliberately sent by powerful gods, with courageous survivors meticulously guarding sacred wisdom. The Maya eloquently described jaguar priests heroically concealing precious records before their world was plunged into a catastrophic darkness. In India, enduring tales of ancient sages depict a harmonious era that humanity has tragically lost. These are not merely whimsical myths, they are powerful echoes, repeated across continents, as if humanity itself was desperately striving to remember something fundamentally vital. The Sphinx, with its rumored hidden chambers, might very well be the loudest echo of them all, its eternal gaze a powerful reminder that the past is not truly gone, but merely patiently waiting. But waiting for what, precisely? That is the profound mini-hook that draws us ever deeper. If these majestic stone guardians are indeed part of an interconnected global network, what profound truths were they originally constructed to protect? And why does it feel as though the answer is closer than ever before, subtly humming just beneath the ancient sand? It is 2025, and the Giza plateau has transcended its status as merely a relic of ancient history. It has become a complex chessboard where power, impenetrable secrecy, and elusive truth collide with formidable force. In a dimly lit office within Cairo, A formidable stack of seismic reports rests securely locked away in a reinforced steel cabinet, their pages bearing the official, imposing seal of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities. These are not merely dry data sheets, they are intellectual dynamite, meticulously detailing the existence of expansive underground chambers beneath the Great Sphinx, chambers that possess the power to irrevocably rewrite the entire documented history of humankind. Across the globe, in the serene setting of Virginia Beach, a dedicated, albeit small, group convenes at the headquarters of the Association for Research and Enlightenment, poring over faded, fragile transcripts of Edgar Cayce's prophetic readings, utterly convinced that the definitive answers to those enigmatic chambers lie firmly within their grasp. Meanwhile, shadowy, influential groups, ranging from clandestine government agencies to ancient secret orders, are meticulously pulling strings behind the scenes, all working in concert to ensure the Sphinx's profound secrets remain eternally buried. The central burning question is no longer simply what lies hidden beneath the sand. It is fundamentally who possesses the ultimate authority to decide whether humanity will ever be permitted to know. This is unequivocally not a dusty antiquarian tale of shovels and flickering torches. This is a contemporary saga, dynamically unfolding in hushed boardrooms, through encrypted digital communications, and via clandestine late-night phone calls. The Association for Research and Enlightenment, or IRA, has operated as a quiet, yet undeniably influential force since Cayce's passing in 1945, diligently preserving his extraordinary visions of a hidden hole of records beneath the Sphinx. They are not merely meticulous archivists, they are active, significant players, having strategically funded groundbreaking research, such as the pivotal 1991 seismic scans and the revolutionary 2025 CAFRI project. Their substantial financial investment facilitated the deployment of cosmic ray imaging technology to Giza, which subsequently revealed a sprawling labyrinth of tunnels and chambers that align with Cayce's decades-old predictions with chilling, undeniable accuracy. However, their profound involvement is not without its significant complexities. To Egypt's staunch authorities, the ARE is perceived as far more than a mere collective of enthusiastic scholars. It is viewed as an assertive Western organization relentlessly pursuing a narrative that could potentially usurp the spotlight from Egypt's own ancient, revered history. And it is precisely here that the profound conflicts inevitably begin. Zahi Hawass, the larger-than-life figure who has for decades fiercely guarded Egypt's priceless antiquities, stands squarely at the epicenter of this escalating storm. Renowned for his impassioned and often fiery defense of Egypt's indigenous heritage, Hawass possesses a well-documented history of decisively shutting down any endeavor that carries even the slightest whiff of Western fantasy. In 1991, when Thomas Debicki's seismic scans unmistakably revealed rectangular voids beneath the Sphinx, Hawass unequivocally dismissed them as mere natural cracks, nothing more. However, a grainy, highly controversial video, anonymously uploaded in 2024, purportedly depicts Hawass himself descending into a narrow, previously sealed tunnel beneath the Sphinx's right paw, conspicuously escorted by a contingent of military guards under the cloak of deepest darkness. The footage, if it is indeed authentic, mysteriously vanished before ever reaching public broadcast. Sources allege it was summarily confiscated, and the documentary crew was abruptly sent away. Hawass, predictably, has vehemently denied the allegations, but the persistent rumor endures, fueled further by a leaked internal memo from the IRE, suggesting he was clandestinely briefed on extremely sensitive findings prior to the project's abrupt cessation. The IRE's role serves as an undeniable lightning rod for controversy. Founded with the explicit mission to preserve Cayce's extraordinary work, they have channeled millions of dollars into Giza-related research, spanning from seismic wave analysis to cutting-edge cosmic ray imaging. Their core mission is not purely scientific, it is deeply spiritual, driven by an unwavering conviction that the Hall of Records contains profound knowledge capable of healing or fundamentally transforming humanity. Yet to the Egyptian government, this conviction is often perceived as an audacious power grab, a calculated attempt to claim Egypt's ancient past for a predominantly Western audience. The inherent tension dramatically escalated in 1993 when an NBC documentary controversially titled The Mystery of the Sphinx deftly interwoven Cayce's prophecies with Cayce's scientific data, transforming a significant scientific discovery into a global media sensation. Hawass, absolutely furious, vehemently accused the film crew of egregious exaggeration and promptly revoked their essential permits. The RRR, caught in the escalating crossfire, witnessed their crucial funding being derisively labeled as mystical meddling. The very same precarious situation is being replicated today. The Khafre Project's cosmic ray images, which vividly depict a sprawling underground complex, have been summarily locked away, with Egyptian officials again citing the convenient pretext of heritage protection. Some inside sources contend that the actual reason stems from intense pressure exerted by higher powers, influential groups who emphatically do not wish the doors of the courtroom, presumably meaning the chambers, to be opened. Who exactly are these enigmatic powers? This is where the narrative veers sharply into the shadows. One particularly wild, yet persistently circulating theory directly implicates the Vatican. The underlying idea is that the Hall of Records harbors ancient texts capable of profoundly challenging the fundamental tenets of modern religion, scrolls or tablets that vividly describe a sophisticated pre-flood civilization possessing knowledge that could utterly upend traditional biblical narratives. Intriguingly, the Vatican is known to possess a secret archive containing Egyptian artifacts purportedly smuggled out during Napoleon's audacious campaign in 1798, including a highly enigmatic metallic codex rumored to have been discovered beneath the Sphinx. While no definitive proof of this specific artifact's origin exists, the story resonates deeply because it fits a disturbing pattern. Consistently, every time a major, potentially disruptive, archaeological find surfaces in Egypt, it invariably vanishes into an impenetrable bureaucratic abyss, or worse. Another theory directly implicates powerful U.S. agencies, with some commentators on X linking the CIA to shadowy black-budget programs, ostensibly engaged in the study of ancient advanced technology. They point to declassified documents from the 1970s that tantalizingly hint at secretive experiments involving zero-point energy, concepts that bear an uncanny resemblance to Cayce's descriptions of Atlantean crystalline power sources. Then there's the ultimate wildcard, the Anunnaki, popularized by sensationalist shows like Ancient Aliens. This theory posits that the Sphinx's chambers were originally constructed by highly advanced extraterrestrial beings who imparted sophisticated sciences to early humanity before mysteriously vanishing. Posts on X in 2025 have gone viral with astonishing claims that the Khafre Project's cosmic ray scans detected unambiguously non-human materials within the chambers, anomalous metals and crystals that simply do not correspond to any known terrestrial alloys or geological formations. The central premise is that these enigmatic beings, whether interpreted as aliens or ancient gods, meticulously established a global network of sites, with Giza as a prime example, specifically designed to guide humanity's future trajectory. The Sphinx, with its powerful lion body and precise celestial alignment, could thus function as a profound beacon, its intricate tunnels serving as a secure vault for their enduring legacy. Skeptics, naturally, dismiss such notions as utter nonsense, yet the persistent hum detected beneath the Sphinx, astonishingly matching the Earth's natural Schumann resonance, keeps this theory tantalizingly alive. Could it indeed be a signal, a precisely calibrated frequency engineered to activate something when the time is deemed ripe? Egypt's government is far from a passive observer in this unfolding drama. The Supreme Council of Antiquities exercises absolute control over every excavation, every scan, and every solitary scrap of data. In 1991, Cayce's seismic tapes were unequivocally classified as national heritage, subsequently locked away within Cairo's impenetrable archives. The 2025 cosmic ray scans met an identical fate, with officials citing the crucial need to protect the Sphinx from unstable exploration. But there are undeniably deeper forces at play. Egypt's national economy relies heavily on its vital tourism industry, and the Sphinx stands as an undeniable national icon. Allowing foreign researchers to boldly claim an Atlantean origin could irrevocably shift the entire narrative, potentially making Egypt's rich history feel like a mere footnote to a predominantly Western myth. Cayce, in a pointed 2024 interview with Al-Ahram, passionately condemned such theories as an insult to our ancestors. Yet the leaks persist, with posts on X sharing grainy, tantalizing images of cosmic ray scans that clearly depict tunnels extending purposefully towards the Great Pyramid, some purportedly lined with what appear to be highly polished stones or even intricate metal inlays. The intricate politics of secrecy extend far beyond Egypt's borders. UNESCO, the United Nations educational, scientific and cultural organization, tasked with the vital protection of global heritage, has significantly tightened its oversight on all Giza projects since the 1990s. Their stringent guidelines mandate neutral science, explicitly free from what they label pseudo-archaeological agendas. The RR's funding, inextricably linked to Cayce's spiritual visions, demonstrably doesn't pass the smell test. According to these strict criteria, UNESCO has reportedly quietly pressured Egypt to severely limit foreign access to the Khafre project's sensitive data, citing concerns of cultural sensitivity. However, some observers perceive a far deeper, more alarming motive. A retired Egyptian archaeologist, speaking anonymously on X, controversially claimed that UNESCO's true apprehension is not merely the disruption of heritage, but the potential disruption of global stability itself. If the chambers indeed harbor advanced technology or ancient texts capable of irrevocably rewriting established history, they could ignite a cultural and political earthquake of unprecedented magnitude. In this grim calculus, it is deemed far preferable to keep such profound truths locked away than to risk the catastrophic fallout. The human dimension of this profound battle for truth is equally compelling. Imagine being a dedicated scientist on the Khafre project, your screens ablaze with vivid images of a hidden city beneath Giza, only to be summarily ordered to pack up your equipment and return home. One distraught technician, quoted in a Gaia.com article, articulated the profound frustration. "We saw it, tunnels, chambers, something truly monumental, but the permits vanished, and our data disappeared with them." Another seasoned researcher, now retired, meticulously maintains a private folder containing the 1991 scans, simply unable to relinquish the tantalizing data. He described a profound moment in the desert, standing by the Sphinx at dawn, when the enigmatic hum seemed to vibrate directly through his very bones, like the stone itself was speaking. He professed no belief in Cayce's prophecies, yet he could not shake the profound conviction that something undeniably alive lay dormant below, patiently waiting. Then there is the potent spiritual angle. The RR is not merely funding scientific inquiry, they are passionately pursuing a profound dream. Cayce's reading spoke of a chamber that possessed the power to heal the nations, but only if humanity was sufficiently ready. Our members have gathered near the Sphinx for meditative sessions, earnestly hoping to attune their minds to its unique frequency. Some participants have reported experiencing a surge of intense energy, accompanied by vivid visions of glowing crystals or ancient undecipherable scripts flashing through their minds. Skeptics predictably dismiss this as mere group hypnosis, but the participants steadfastly swear it was real, a profound, tangible connection to a past that remains vibrantly present. This potent blend of scientific inquiry and spiritual conviction deeply infuriates Egypt's authorities, who perceive it as flagrant Western arrogance. Yet the ARE persists, quietly funding a tenacious rebellion against the official, established narrative. The struggle for control is not solely about verifiable data, it is fundamentally about profound meaning. If the Sphinx's chambers indeed contain Atlantean relics, they could conclusively prove that humanity's history is far deeper, far stranger than we have ever been told. If they prove to be empty, mere cracks in the ancient stone, the myth would undoubtedly collapse, but with it, much of the profound wonder. Egypt undeniably holds the keys, but the lock is global in its implications, intricately tangled in the complex web of politics, religion, and the pervasive fear of what uncomfortable truths might ultimately unleash. The hum, the revealing scans, the persistent whispers, they all point unequivocally to something profound, yet no one can agree on its precise nature. If the chambers are indeed real, who exactly is guarding them, and what profound truth are they so desperately afraid we will discover? Stand before the majestic Great Sphinx at twilight, when the desert air cools to a crisp embrace and the last incandescent rays of sunlight meticulously paint its weathered, enigmatic face in shifting hues of gold and deep shadow. It remains utterly immobile, completely silent, yet its very presence reverberates like a profound question, one that has been silently asked for thousands of years. What truly are we searching for within its silent, unwavering gaze? Is it the fabled Hall of Records, a hidden chamber reputedly filled with ancient scrolls or potent crystals? Is it a lost city sprawling beneath the Giza plateau, whispering tales of Atlantis or enigmatic starborn builders? Or is it something far deeper, something that resides not within the cold stone itself, but intrinsically within us, an innate, profound longing to remember who we were before history, as we know it, even began? The Sphinx is not merely a monumental structure, it is a profound mirror, starkly reflecting our intrinsic human need to discover meaning in the vast expanse of the past, to unearth a truth that might ultimately reveal to us our deepest selves. As we relentlessly chase its elusive secrets, we are, in a very real sense, chasing facets of our own collective identity, and the answers, astonishingly, may be far closer than we dare to imagine, subtly humming in the liminal spaces between what we definitively know and what we fervently dream. This quest transcends mere data points or the intricate patterns of seismic scans. It fundamentally concerns why we care so deeply. For centuries, the Sphinx has stood as an inscrutable riddle, its powerful lion body rooted immutably in the desert, its human face perpetually gazing eastward, as if patiently awaiting a dawn that never quite fully arrives. Edgar Cayce, the visionary sleeping prophet, famously characterized it as a guardian, not of material treasure, but of profound memory, a timeless vault, he claimed, safeguarding the comprehensive narrative of a world that tragically drowned some 12,000 years ago. His extraordinary visions of the Hall of Records, purportedly nestled beneath the Sphinx's right paw, were not solely about ancient scrolls or advanced technology. They spoke of a pivotal moment when humanity might finally re-establish its connection with its forgotten roots. In 1991, when seismic waves meticulously traced distinct rectangular voids in that precise location, it felt as though Cayce's profound dream was manifesting into reality. In 2025, when revolutionary cosmic ray imaging unveiled a sprawling, intricate underground network, the dream expanded, becoming wilder, more profound. But what if the true secret is not what lies hidden beneath? What if the profound revelation lies in the very act of searching itself, the way it compels us to confront our own collective story? Consider this: virtually every culture across the globe possesses a myth of a lost golden age, a primordial era when humanity was purportedly wiser, closer to the stars and more intrinsically attuned to the Earth's rhythms. The ancient Sumerians recounted a devastating flood that swept away a resplendent, shining city. The Maya spoke of venerable jaguar priests heroically concealing invaluable knowledge before their world descended into darkness. In India, enduring tales of ancient sages describe a state of harmonious existence that we, as modern humans, have tragically lost. The Sphinx, with its rumored hidden chambers, feels like the foundational anchor for these ubiquitous narratives, a tangible physical link to that profoundly forgotten time. But it is more than just a monumental structure. It is a potent symbol of cycles, of history unfolding not in a linear progression, but in vast looping patterns, where civilizations rise, fall, and inevitably rise again. Cayce emphatically stated that the Hall of Records would be discovered only when humanity was truly ready, when we had matured sufficiently to utilize its profound wisdom without succumbing to self-destruction. That powerful idea deeply resonates because it transcends being merely about Atlantis. It is fundamentally about us, about whether we possess the capacity to face our past without condemned to repeating its calamitous mistakes. The Sphinx's enduring power lies in its inherent ambiguity. It neither confirms nor denies. It simply watches. Its weathered, eroded face, simultaneously half human and half beast, feels like an ancient bridge spanning the chasm between who we are in the present and who we might have been in a lost past. When 19th-century explorers like Giovanni Battista Caviglia painstakingly dug at its base, they were not merely seeking tunnels. They were desperately searching for tangible proof that humanity's narrative is far more expansive, far grander than we have ever been told. When modern scientists like Thomas DeBakey and the Caffrey Project team meticulously mapped hidden voids with seismic waves and cosmic rays, they were pursuing that very same profound objective. Even the wildest theories circulating on X concerning alien technology or crystalline data drives emanate from that same insatiable human hunger, that deep-seated need to believe we are integral parts of something far vaster and more mysterious. The Sphinx graciously holds space for all of these diverse interpretations, serving as a vast canvas upon which we project our deepest hopes, our most primal fears, and our most profound questions. It is not ultimately about discovering a physical chamber. It is profoundly about what the very act of searching reveals about ourselves. Consider the hum, that persistent, low vibration meticulously detected beneath the Sphinx. Scientists categorize it as a specific frequency, possibly intrinsically linked to the Earth's pervasive magnetic field, yet it feels like something far more profound. It is as if the desert itself is singing, an ancient note that resonates deep within one's chest when standing in close proximity to the colossal stone. Some believe it to be a direct message, a signal emanating from a lost civilization, cleverly encoded within the very limestone. Others, such as the researchers quoted in Gaia.com, suggest it is a powerful natural phenomenon, amplified by the unique, resonant shape of the Sphinx itself. But what if it is both? What if the hum is the Earth's own indelible memory, a timeless reminder of an era when humanity possessed an innate understanding of its profound rhythms? The Sphinx, meticulously aligned with the constellation Leo 10,000 years ago, feels like an ancient clock, its eternal gaze marking not merely the passage of time, but profound universal meaning. It is as if it is silently imploring us to listen, to remember something vital that we have collectively forgotten, not within a hidden chamber, but deep within our own collective consciousness. This leads us to a deeper, more fundamental truth. The Sphinx is not merely guarding a physical vault, it is safeguarding a profound existential question. What does it truly mean to be human? Every single shovel stroke, every scientific scan, every burgeoning theory is a fervent attempt to provide an answer. Cayce's visionary insights, with their provocative discussions of Atlantis and potent crystals, were not merely simplistic predictions. They were profound metaphors for a latent potential we have tragically lost. He spoke of an era when humanity could effortlessly channel cosmic energies, heal with pure light, or communicate directly with the distant stars. Whether these claims are literally true or not, they strike a deep, resonant chord within us, because we yearn to believe that we were once far more than our current understanding suggests. The seismic data, unequivocally revealing voids beneath the pores, and the cosmic ray images, unveiling a complex network of tunnels and chambers, all feed that profound hope. They powerfully suggest a past where we constructed astonishing feats we cannot explain, and conceived of things we can barely begin to imagine. But they also pose a profound challenge to us. If we do unearth that ancient past, what, ultimately, will we choose to do with it? The Sphinx's enduring silence is arguably its greatest gift. It offers no immediate answers. It simply reflects. Every successive generation perceives something distinct within its enigmatic face. For the 19th century explorers, it was a tangible treasure patiently waiting to be claimed. For Cayce's devoted followers, it was a spiritual beacon, a profound promise of enlightenment. For modern scientists, it is an intricate puzzle to be meticulously solved with waves and particles. For the fervent conspiracy theorists, it is irrefutable proof of hidden powers, be they governments, extraterrestrials, or ancient secret orders, deliberately concealing truth from the world. Each individual perspective represents a crucial piece of the same vast mirror, revealing to us our own deepest desires and anxieties. The Sphinx passes no judgment. It simply provides an enduring space for our relentless questions, allowing us to wrestle with what we passionately hope to find. That ultimately is why it endures, why it continually draws us back, century after century, to stand in its immense shadow and simply wonder. There is a powerful anecdote that perfectly encapsulates this. A woman, an active participant in an ARE meditation group near the Sphinx, claimed she experienced a profound vision during a dawn session, not of a chamber or an ancient scroll, but of an ethereal light pulsating from the very stone itself, which revealed to her a magnificent city bathed under a different sky, a place where people moved in perfect harmony with the earth. She did not explicitly name it Atlantis, but it resonated with that profound essence. Skeptics would undoubtedly dismiss it as a mere dream, a trick of the mind under the powerful spell of the desert. But for her it was vividly real, a fleeting glimpse of what the Sphinx truly guards. Not merely a physical vault, but an enduring memory of what we as humanity could yet become. That is the profound power of the Sphinx. It makes the utterly impossible feel tantalizingly close, like a truth one can almost physically touch. This is not solely about historical facts, it is fundamentally about identity. The relentless search for the Hall of Records, irrespective of whether it is a physical chamber or a potent myth, compels us to ask who we truly are. Are we merely a fleeting blip in the vast expanse of time, a species that serendipitously stumbled into civilization? Or are we the rightful heirs to something far older, something incomparably grander? Even the intricate politics, Egypt's tenacious grip on data, the ARE's quiet, persistent funding, the hushed whispers of Vatican cover-ups, all reflect our ongoing struggle to claim and define our own collective story. We fight over the Sphinx because it is not merely a statue. It is a mirror starkly showing us our own inherent fragility, and simultaneously our immense untapped potential. What if the Hall of Records is not a physical place at all? What if it is a profound state of mind, a transformative way of seeing that unlocks something deep within us? Cayce declared it would be discovered in a time of reckoning, perhaps in 2026, when the stars align perfectly with the Sphinx's eternal gaze. That specific date feels remarkably close now, with the enigmatic hum reportedly growing louder and the compelling data continuing to accumulate. But the true ultimate discovery might not reside within the stone itself. It might instead lie in how we collectively choose to respond. If we do eventually open those chambers, will we utilize their profound wisdom to heal, as Cayce so fervently hoped, or will we tragically repeat the calamitous mistakes of a forgotten past? The Sphinx remains indifferent. It merely watches, its ancient eyes eroded by millennia but unyielding, silently asking us to decide what kind of future we wish to construct from the past we are destined to uncover. The desert surrounding Giza is far more than mere sand. It is an immense canvas for our collective longing. Every theory, from the seductive allure of Atlantis to the tantalizing possibility of aliens, is a brushstroke, painting an ever-evolving picture of what we profoundly hope is true. The Sphinx embraces it all, neither confirming nor denying, but perpetually inviting us to continue asking. That is its enduring genius. It is a question that never fully resolves, a profound riddle that only deepens with every answer we attempt to provide. As we stand on the cusp of 2026, amidst whispers of new scans and impending cosmic alignments, the Sphinx remains an unwavering mirror, reflecting not only our deep past, but also our insatiable hunger to truly know it. And that precisely is the powerful mini-hook that keeps us inextricably tethered. What if the ultimate truth lies not beneath the Sphinx at all, but rather in the profound way it compels us to search forever chasing the elusive light it casts upon who we genuinely are. The Giza plateau is quiet now, bathed in the soft ethereal glow of a desert night. The great Sphinx looms immense, like a silent, ancient judge presiding over the vast shifting sands. Its eyes, worn smooth by the relentless march of time, seem to hold a secret they will never explicitly share, an eternal riddle that has captivated explorers, scientists and dreamers for uncounted centuries. We have traversed the subtle whispers of Edgar Cayce's prophecies, journeyed through the torch-lit excavations of the 19th century, felt the seismic hums of 1991, and witnessed the cosmic ray revelations of 2025. We have relentlessly pursued elusive tunnels and hidden chambers, pondered the audacious concept of global networks of majestic lion guardians, and grappled with the intricate politics of deliberately concealed truths. Yet here, at the culmination of our journey, the fundamental question persists. What ultimately truly lies beneath the Sphinx? Is it a lost city, a vast vault of ancient wisdom, or simply the resonant echo of our own profound longing? As the brilliant stars majestically wheel above Giza, I pose this question to you. What do you believe rests beneath, and why does it hold such immense significance? Let us pause and deeply reflect. The Sphinx does not merely guard ancient stone, it guards our boundless imagination. Every single story we have recounted, from Cayce's extraordinary visions of Atlantis to the most recent modern scans revealing a labyrinthine complex beneath the plateau, is an integral piece of a colossal puzzle that we are desperately striving to solve. It is not merely about discovering a hidden chamber or an enigmatic crystal. It is profoundly about what those potential discoveries would signify for all of humanity. Imagine standing at the very edge of a newly revealed tunnel beneath the Sphinx's right paw. The air is cool and heavy, redolent with the ancient earthy scent of timeless limestone. You distinctly hear a faint, persistent hum, precisely like the one scientists detected in 2025, pulsing in perfect synchronicity with the Earth's own rhythm. What profound secret awaits at the end of that mysterious tunnel? Ancient scrolls intricately etched with the profound secrets of a drowned world, sophisticated machines that hum with forgotten, primordial energy, or perhaps simply an echoing silence, a vast hollow space that compels us to confront our own deep-seated need for definitive answers. Your thoughts are immensely valuable, because this extraordinary story is not merely mine, it is unequivocally ours. On platforms like X, people are abuzz with diverse ideas, each a tiny spark illuminating the encompassing darkness. One user boldly posited, "What if the chambers of the Sphinx contain irrefutable evidence of alien contact? Could the pyramids serve as their cosmic blueprints?" It is an audacious thought, yet it is far from isolated. Another post pondered if the Hall of Records is in fact a meticulously crafted time capsule, deliberately left by the survivors of a global flood to guide us through an impending future crisis. Someone else suggested that it is all an elaborate hoax, a cunning trick of the ancient stone, vastly amplified by our innate human love for profound mystery. These profound questions are not merely wild guesses, they are illuminating windows into what fundamentally drives us. So let us collectively open that window wider. If you stood before the Sphinx right now, what profound truth would you most fervently hope to uncover? A vast library of lost knowledge, irrefutable evidence of star-born builders, or perhaps simply a mirror, reflecting the deep questions we carry within our very souls. Let's delve into some of the more captivating ideas circulating. One particular X-post from early 2025 caught my attention, claiming that the Sphinx's tunnels are intricately connected to a vast global network of energy sites, all precisely tuned to the Earth's pervasive magnetic field. The user provocatively linked this to the enigmatic hum detected by the Caffrey project, suggesting it acts as a signal, akin to a cosmic beacon, patiently awaiting the opportune moment, perhaps 2026, when the stars align with the Sphinx's eternal gaze, precisely as Cayce predicted. It is a heady, audacious idea, Yet it resonates deeply because it taps into our innate human hope that the ancients possessed knowledge we have long since forgotten, something that holds the power to fundamentally alter everything. Another post took a far darker turn, arguing that the chambers remained sealed precisely because they contained technology too perilous for our contemporary world. Imagine zero-point energy, the kind of power that could effortlessly illuminate entire cities or, conversely, obliterate them completely. The user claimed that the CIA and Egypt's government are fully aware of this, pointing to declassified files from the 1970s that tantalizingly hint at clandestine experiments with ancient energy sources. True or not, it compels one to wonder, why are cosmic ray scans still kept so tightly under wraps? Then there is the profound spiritual angle. A devoted follower on X shared a moving story about meditating near the Sphinx at dawn, experiencing a vibration that was not merely physical, but deeply emotional, akin to a profound memory stirring within their very being. They did not perceive Atlantis or aliens, but rather an overwhelming sense of profound connection, as if the ancient stone itself was whispering tales of a time when humanity was whole. This powerfully echoes Cayce's pronouncements: the Hall of Records is not merely a material vault, it is a vital bridge to a wiser, more harmonious past. Could that be our true quest? Not for tangible artifacts, but for a profound feeling, a deep-seated sense that we are integral parts of something far vaster, something that stretches back to an epoch when the Sahara was a vibrant green landscape, and the Sphinx stood as a brand new sentinel. Your perspective on this is profoundly important. Is the Sphinx merely a guardian of physical treasures, or is it safeguarding something intangible, such as our fundamental human need to believe in a deeper, more meaningful story? Let's playfully explore that notion for a moment. Suppose we were to open those chambers tomorrow. The Egyptian government abruptly lifts all restrictions. The Khafre project's proprietary data is made public, and we discover a sprawling, intricate underground city, precisely as the cosmic ray scans so powerfully suggest. What might lie within? Perhaps ancient scrolls, meticulously inscribed in a script no living soul can decipher, meticulously detailing the glorious rise and tragic fall of Atlantis. Perhaps crystals, softly glowing with an ethereal luminescence, holding vast amounts of data like a prehistoric supercomputer. Or perhaps something far stranger, enigmatic machines that hum with the very same primordial frequency as the Earth itself, constructed by hands we can no longer trace. Would such a revelation fundamentally alter your self-perception? If we unearthed irrefutable proof that humanity once intimately touched the stars, or walked alongside beings from an entirely different world, would it make you feel expansively larger or insignificantly smaller? That is precisely the kind of profound question the Sphinx silently poses, not through words, but through its unwavering, steadfast gaze. Now let us flip the perspective. What if we diligently excavate and discover absolutely nothing? Just empty voids, mere cracks within the ancient limestone, devoid of scrolls, crystals, or any alien technology. Would that diminish the profound mystery, or would it paradoxically intensify it? The Sphinx requires no hidden chamber to captivate our collective attention. It has accomplished that for millennia with nothing but unyielding stone and profound silence. Perhaps the true ultimate treasure lies within the search itself, the profound way it compels us to relentlessly question who we are and from where we truly originated. An astute post on X articulated it beautifully. The Sphinx isn't hiding a secret, it's hiding us from ourselves. That is a thought truly worth pondering. What do you think? Is the mystery itself sufficient, or do we necessitate definitive answers to feel genuinely complete? I am also eager to hear your personal stories. Have you ever stood before a monumental structure like the Sphinx, felt its immense weight, and pondered what profound message it was attempting to convey? Perhaps you have experienced a haunting dream, akin to the geophysicist who retired after the 1991 scans, perpetually haunted by vivid visions of a damp tunnel beneath Giza, its ancient walls slick with unspeakable secrets. Or perhaps you felt a subtle, irresistible pull, much like the AR meditators who solemnly swear the Sphinx's enigmatic hum stirred something deep within their very souls. Please share those moments. They are integral threads in the rich tapestry of this story, a narrative that stretches seamlessly from ancient Egypt to your screen right now. What is your own theory? Do you lean towards Cayce's vision of Atlantis, the Anunnaki's advanced technology, or something entirely different? Please share it in the comments. Let us keep this vital conversation alive. What lies ahead for the Sphinx? Cayce prophesied that 2026 would be the pivotal year when the stars would align, and the chambers might finally yield their secrets. But what if the true opening occurs within us? What if the Sphinx is patiently awaiting our collective remembrance, not of a physical vault, but of a profound truth we have carried within us all along? This is not an ending, it is a burgeoning beginning. The Sphinx's enduring story does not conclude with a singular discovery or a definitive denial. It expands, it evolves with every single question we pose, every theory we courageously share. Perhaps you firmly believe it is all about Atlantis, a lost world patiently waiting to be reclaimed. Or perhaps you perceive it as a profound test, a challenge to prove we are truly ready for what lies hidden. One ex-post from 2025 provocatively asked, "What if the Sphinx's hum is a cosmic call, and we're simply not listening correctly?" Your voice is an integral part of this mystery, and I eagerly anticipate hearing it. The night is now deep, and the Sphinx stands as it always has, its unwavering gaze fixed upon a horizon we cannot quite perceive. Its profound silence is an invitation, not to find immediate answers, but to ask deeper, more incisive questions. Its profound silence is an invitation. Whether it is a lost city beneath the sand, a crystal pulsating with ancient light, or merely a powerful dream we perpetually dream, the Sphinx embraces it all. So tell me, what is your take? What lies hidden beneath? And why does it continually draw us back? That is the poignant mini-hook that lingers as 2026 rapidly approaches. With its promised alignment of the stars, will we finally hear what the Sphinx has been whispering all along? Or will we discover that the true ultimate secret is the one we are collectively writing right now, in the profound shadows of its eternal gaze?